Give them a chance to come on in. All right, there we go. Hello, Facebook family. It's Saturday night, and y'all been asking for this. You've been asking for me to cook in the kitchen and to bring some recipes. Well, hello. Guess what? Tonight, I am cooking in the kitchen with Chelsea. Hey, Chelsea.
Hey, Auntie Dora.
So, we're just going to wait for y'all to get on because I'm looking at 0, but y'all just keep on keeping on and pass it around, look at it a little bit, and come on because tonight we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be cooking and we're going to be sharing. I'm so excited tonight to have Chelsea in the kitchen with me. She is your typical Gen Z.
Yes.
And that's the 20-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
So that's your 20-year-olds. And I was watching a show. Ed and I, we were watching a show a couple of days. We watched the whole series. If you get a chance, it's on Netflix. It's called 100 Humans. And they do experiments. So I was intrigued by the experiment they did concerning the generations. And they had the 20-year-olds, the 30s, the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And they wanted to see which generation was the most productive. And guess who won? The Gen Zs came in first, and the baby boomers came in second. So, hey, I had to find me a Gen Zer to get a little closer with, because they have energy, they have wisdom, they have creativity. So I think we're going to have a great time tonight. I'm still looking. We don't have anyone. Got one person on. And so, hello, whoever you are. I can't see. Let me see who that is. Okay.
It's gonna grow.
Okay. So we're going to keep on chatting. Y'all hang with us. We're going to cook tonight. We're going to be making a fabulous, easy breezy recipe that moms, if you got a mom with kids in school, and she's a working mom, and she loves to prepare home-cooked meals that don't take forever, she is going to love this recipe. To be able to make pizzas from scratch, including the dough, some of the best pizza crust you will ever taste. We are making Detroit-style deep dish pizza tonight, live on Facebook. And we're also going to be answering any questions that you all may have. We decided we were going to also take this time to solve the world's problems. So we're going to solve the world's problems while we're baking and just enjoying ourselves. So come on in, share it, pass it around. Tell them Momma Dora's in the kitchen cooking, and she's cooking with Chelsea. We're going to wait and get a little more on.
Get a bigger audience.
Get a little bigger audience. But hey, you guys got some questions. Even now, we got some minutes. So let's chat. I can't see who is all online with us, but Chelsea, maybe you can give us a look, see who we have. We got 5 on right now. And let's see who's online. I can't really tell. I got to clean my glasses off.
Let's see.
But yeah, we're cooking tonight at the Sanctuary on Huron River. I'm so happy. This is my first cooking video here.
Oh, we have 7 viewers.
We have 7, yes. Amen. Well, hello.
There's an Antoine Smith.
Hello, Antoine.
We got 8 now.
Who else we got? Who else is with us?
Let me see. It's loading. Hold on.
Okay.
All I can see is Antoine right now, but it does say that we have 9 people.
We got 9. We got 9. So, hey, everybody, whoever you are, I think 9's enough for us to get started. Yep. So, share this video. I'm going to teach you how to make it. I'm talking about in less than 1 hour, we are going to be rocking out a deep dish style pizza. It may take us a little longer because we're having a conversation. Hello, Elder Linda. I do see you. And I'm glad that you're on board with us tonight. This is our first cooking video live in my new kitchen here at the Sanctuary on Huron River, where I work all the magic for all of our guests. And one of the things we always serve is deep dish pizza. So here we go. We're going to talk about it a little bit before we get started. But this pizza is only going to require, hello, sweetie, it's only going to require 5 ingredients for the dough. You're going to need bread flour. You're going to need yeast, salt, water, and virgin olive oil. That's all you're going to need to make the crust. And it's going to be amazing. So let's get started. Now, one of the things that I'm doing a little bit differently with this recipe is I'm measuring. If you don't have a scale, I encourage you to get one. I'm going to take my glasses off for a minute because I keep trying to look up and over them. This scale here is it's a little cheap one, but it's a great scale. So I have it on grams, and it's going to completely zero out. Let me get this thing settled here. Okay. It's going to completely zero out once I put it down. But get you a scale. They're very inexpensive. You can even order them on Amazon. But this is a great way to measure. And I like to use my big mixing measuring bowl when I make my pizza dough. That way I can do it all right here, mix it and everything. So let me put my mixing bowl down here.
We're up to 13.
Okay, awesome. Well, hey, lucky 13. We got 13 viewers. Woo, woo, woo. Keep sharing it. We're just going to keep on moving on. And maybe we'll get up to 50 before this broadcast is over. So let's start with the first ingredient, and that's the bread flour. Now, I've zeroed out my scale, okay? And this is King Arthur's bread flour. You can use any kind of bread flour that you like, okay? But right now what I'm doing, I've got my scale and I'm weighing out 300 grams of bread flour. You see, I'm just dumping it in here. Right now I'm at 190, so I still have a little bit more to go. 227, 28, we got to go to, let's see, 300. So I need to put a little bit more bread flour in here. Almost there.
What happens if you put too much flour in there?
Well, you got to take it out. You got to take it out. If you get too much, you got to take it out. And right now I do have too much, but I'm only like 10, it's at 309. So I'm not going to bother that because that's close enough, because as you're adding your water, you may even need to add more flour to get the right texture and feel. So we're here, it's settled down at 304. So we got the bread flour in the mixing bowl. So we're going to zero that out. We're just going to touch it and it'll go right to zero. And that way, every ingredient that you put in, it will record its own weight. So we zeroed out the bread flour. Now we're going to use, we need 9 grams of salt. So I have salt in here and I've zeroed out my scale. That's 6, 7, 9. That's 9 right there. Doesn't take a lot. So be careful with that, because if you put too much salt in it, you probably have to start again, because you can't, it's going to be hard to take the salt out. Okay, so now we got the salt. Now with the water, I need 220 grams of water. Okay, and the recipe is going to be either in the comments or somewhere where you guys will be able to have it. So let's go with the water. Now, I've got a couple of kinds of yeast. I brought both so you could decide. But if you're going to bake a lot, I recommend just getting a jar of yeast. I bake all the time, of course, so I keep these jars. But if you just want to add pizza to your weekly menu and you say, well, I'll just get 3 packages to try, that's okay too. So you can go either way. But I got 3 packages of yeast, but it calls for 5 grams. So here's what we're going to do. We've got the water at 220 grams. So what you want to do, we're going to take the flour and the salt off. We're going to put a measuring cup, and you can use any kind of measuring cup that you want. I like this clear jar because I can see it actually has half cup measurements along the side. And that gives me a little room to play with it. I've got water running, and I'm going to tell you how I gauge the temperature for my water. If you don't have a thermometer, you don't necessarily have to use a thermometer. You want to have hot water, but you don't want the water hot enough to burn you.
Okay.
See? So you're going to put your hands under the water, and you want it really, really hot, but you don't want it to burn you. I have a nurse with me. Our body temperature is 98.6. 98.7. Okay. All right. 1 point for me. So the temperature that we're actually looking for is about 110. So if we're at 98, it's between 100 and 110. So if we're at 98 and it's really hot, but it's not like, oh, it's burning my hand, that's the temperature that you want, okay? You can come and feel it.
And it looks like it's burning your hand.
It's not. It's not. And I guess it's for each person, but come on around and feel this water. I'm making a big deal out of the water temperature because when you are baking and using yeast, temperature is so important. And if you feel that, honey,
it's hot.
But it doesn't. It's not like, oh, that's my dog.
It's not scorching you.
It's not. Hot. There you go. There you go. That's what we're rocking with. Now you got the temperature.
Oh, thank you.
So I'll go ahead and put a cup of water in here. And this is the one time that I just kind of, let me try this again. I gotta zero out my jar first. Okay, now I'm good. Now let me put this water in here. Gotta recalibrate it again. It takes a little bit of time to get the water temperature right if you're not using a thermometer. But at any rate, okay. Oh, I did pretty good. That's 247 and I need 220. So I'll pour out just a little bit. 224, I'll take it.
We'll take it.
Okay, so now we're getting ready. We're going to zero this out so that we will have zero base for 5 grams of yeast. Now, one thing that I do when it comes to the yeast, it says 5, I put in 10. Because I don't want no junk with my yeast not rising. And I want to give it a little extra boost because we're going to do this within an hour. And most of the time you need at least 35, 40 minutes for it to rise. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to show you how to create your own in-home proofer to get your pizza dough ready in about 10, 15 minutes.
Because we don't have time for all that.
We don't have time for all that. So here we go. Calls for 5 grams. I'm going to hit it with 10 because we want to make sure we got enough yeast and everything's looking good. All right. So now we're just going to stir this up and you want to set this aside. You want it to dissolve. That's your yeast. You can give it just a couple of minutes to dissolve, stir it up really good. And so now we've got our flour, our salt, and our yeast and our water, and we're going to mix them together. Now,
until well combined?
Till well combined, and you're going to actually see how the dough kind of forms a ball as I'm stirring it. I'm going to pour it in the middle, and I'm just going to keep stirring until it forms a ball. Put that aside, and you can, there you go, that's how it's looking. And I'm actually stirring it with my spatula spoon, and you can see how it's actually, it's forming a ball.
It is, slowly but surely.
Slowly but surely. So now, I got a little bit more yeast, so I'm going to put that in last. A little bit more in there, okay. So now we're going to stir this up real good. And I also, the olive oil says as needed, but this is the point I like to just hit it with a little bit of oil while I'm stirring it, because I like for my pizza dough to have a little oil in it and not just for greasing the pan. I like for it to be actually in the dough. So now
So what does it do when it's in the dough?
It gives it a tenderness.
Okay.
It's just like if you have a cake and a cake is too dry, usually it's because it doesn't have enough water or enough oil. So this, and I'm going to use my hands for this, and you all be using your hands too probably, but they're good and clean. So we're going to be all right here. So if y'all want to put gloves on when you get home, when you're baking this at home, feel free to do so. Okay. So I put a little bit of flour here on my mat so I can roll this out.
We're doing this like the Italians.
Yeah. We do, flip that right in the face. We're doing this just like the Italians. So I'm going to show you, and their Italians are probably seriously doubt that. They're probably saying, honey, that is not how we do it, but that's okay. We're going to do it the way we do it. So here we go. This is what we got. There it is. That's your pizza dough.
Nice and thick.
Yeah. And now we only want to knead it a little bit. Put some more flour on it. We're going to form a ball. And maybe we'll tilt the camera a little bit. Hold it over this way, yeah, just so they can see what I got going on down here. I got Chelsea doing double duty.
Like
Yeah,
this,
there we
a
go.
little bit.
Yeah, there you go. You see that? And I've got this little ball going. Y'all see that? Now you see how quick I put that dough together? You look at that. Here we go. That's going to rise and make a beautiful pizza crust. We're going to use 5 ingredients. 4 if you don't count the olive oil. So now, here's what I do. The same bowl that we mixed it in, we're going to put it right back in here to rise. And this is what we do. We take a little bit of olive oil and we just drizzle some in the bowl because we don't want it to stick while it's rising. Then we plop it in there and we want to flip it over and get the ball nice and greasy. See that? That's our pizza dough. Now, I am really going to need you to bring that camera over here because I have to show them how to make your own personal proofer that's going to get your pizza dough to rise very quickly. Simply hot water in the sink.
Okay.
This isn't going to be hard to do. I got our bowl. Then I'm going to put hot water, not scalding hot, but pretty hot. You want to activate the yeast and get it rising, but you don't want it to actually do more harm than good if you make your water too hot. You could actually kill your yeast. Yeast is sensitive to temperature. It has to be just right. So the same kind of hot water but not burning, the same thing we use to mix it is the same kind. You got a little steam there. I'm going to put this right in here. Can you show that here? There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm going to put it right down in here. I got about 1 inch of water. I'm going to put it right there in the sink, and then I'm going to take a clean towel and put it right over the top of this. And there we have, and it can touch it. It's not going to hurt it. It's going to literally rise. There's your proofer. So we're going to wait for about 15 minutes. We're going to roll the dough out, and we're going to put it in a pan and par bake it. And by par baking it, we provide a nice cushion so when we put our toppings on, it won't fall flat. It'll already be partially baked, so it'll uphold all the ingredients that you want to put on it, and you can stack it. So we'll let that rise, and then we'll take a few minutes to answer some questions.
Okay. So let's see here.
Let me know what you got.
Get you at an angle.
Yeah.
Just let me know which angle. Is this fine?
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right. Let's go. We're going to get into some Q&A and have some fun. So if you guys have some questions, feel free to, and it can be about baking. It can be concerning whatever topic you want to talk about. And but tonight, I think Chelsea has some hot topics for me. She wouldn't give me a hint. So I don't know what we're going to be talking about tonight.
So tonight, we are talking about family dynamics.
Oh, she said family dynamics.
And how to navigate them.
Oh, and how to navigate them.
So I'll start off with, what does family mean to you?
Oh my goodness. Family to me is a community of people who love each other, who pray for each other, who support each other, who share common values.
Okay. And why is family needed?
Well, it's important because it is the institution that God himself ordained, whereby this world and everything that he created would have a pattern and an order and know how to function.
Okay.
How about that?
So say if someone, comes from a toxic family, and they may wonder, like, how do you handle toxic relatives?
Well, in this day and time, that word toxic is thrown around a lot. We have toxic relationships, we have toxic family members, we have toxic situations, and the word toxic itself literally means poison. So you handle a toxic relationship just like you handle poison.
Okay.
If it's making you sick, if it's not benefiting you, if it's causing you to be less than who you are, that relationship is not, number one, ordained by God. And number two, it doesn't matter if it's a family member, if it's a co-worker. You have to do what is important for yourself. You got to guard your heart. The Bible tells us that. And so sometimes you can love people, but you got to love them from a distance because you have to guard your heart.
You got to cut the cord.
Yeah, and we're talking about generational differences. This means a lot to not only senior members in the family, but younger members in the family.
Yeah.
All of us have our reasons for being in relationships, but most of it is for camaraderie and friendship, encouragement.
How can I establish boundaries?
Well, wow, that's a tough one because a lot of times, and I hope you guys are hearing the questions. Are you hearing the questions? If you are, send me up some hearts.
Let me know if you guys can hear me so
Can
I
you-
can talk louder.
Can you hear Chelsea? Can you guys hear Chelsea? If so, send up some hearts. They may not be able to hear you. Okay, they're hearing. I'm seeing some hearts. Okay, good.
Okay,
Good. All right, go ahead. Talk a little
So,
louder.
like, how can a young person establish boundaries with their older relatives without being disrespectful?
Well, there you go. You said the key word. How can a younger person establish boundaries with their adult relatives without being disrespectful? And that's it. Do it without being disrespectful.
But what if the relative thinks that everything is disrespectful because they don't want to take accountability? It's some real stuff.
God, this is real. I'm loving it. Because it's important for each generation to have some relationship continuance. In other words, we're running a race. And there are some things that we have learned as adults and seniors that we're trying to share and pass on. So when you receive the baton, as we are sharing, there are going to be times where you may not feel like the information that we're sharing is worth grabbing. But even if you don't grab it now, you may grab it later. So I say establish your boundaries, establish your individuality, but above all else, do it respectfully. This is all part of God's plan. He doesn't intend for any of us, not even our adult children, to submit their total lives to what the parents want. Everybody gets to choose their own life.
Yes.
Can I say that like 1,000 gazillion times? Everybody gets to choose their own life. But by the same token, you also have to bear your own consequences. So
true.
Establish your boundaries. Do it respectfully, but also know that we're only here as
Portals, basically.
yes, as portals
To get us here.
to share information and to help you get where you should be. One of the biggest tricks of the enemy is for generational breaches to take place so that there's information that should be imparted that gets fragmented because there's conflict in relationship. And so I've said many times that this stage of my life, all I'm trying to do is answer questions that my family and my children haven't even asked yet. I'm trying to put things in place so when I'm gone, that there's going to be those moments. And those of us who have lost our parents, we know. How many times have you said, I wish mama was here? I wish daddy was here so I could ask some questions. And so what I do at this stage of my life, I try to answer questions that my family members haven't even asked, because I know there's going to be a time where there's so much information that needs to be shared that doesn't get communicated for whatever reason. It can be a breach in the relationship. It can be just a mindset of independence, and I don't need any help from you, and I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. And all those things are good. But I think at the end of the day, the way to establish boundaries is respectfully. That's how you do it. And I mean, as adults, we have to honor that.
So what do you do if someone in your family doesn't respect your boundaries? Because they're like, I'm older than you, you know, all that. Because a lot of young people want to know that too.
Yeah.
So if they don't, what do you do?
Well, you know, let me speak from my perspective. So you all will know how, if you're a Gen Z or a millennial, and you want to know how to handle baby boomers. I don't know who's before baby boomers.
The silent generation?
We're about the oldest ones. Is there a silent generation after the baby boomers?
No, before you guys.
Oh,
and they're still kicking.
Okay, yeah, and they just watching. I'm gonna get to the place where I'm gonna be watching. But right now I'm engaged. But give me about 10 more years. I'll be 70 next year. So about 80, I'm gonna just be watching y'all. But right now I'm engaged. So the most important way to do it is to do it respectfully. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't matter who it is. You know, my girls say the same thing about me. You know, I'm grown. And I think as mothers and as parents, that's really not even necessary. We know you're grown. We the ones that birthed you. We can tell you more about yourselves than you know. But I say this, at the end of the day, everything that most parents are doing in this stage in our lives concerning our adult children is to be a blessing. And I know we overstep our bounds. My kids have told me that I have. And I'm like, okay, well, mine did too.
What about aunts and uncles? Because usually the aunts and uncles, they be trying it. I'm going to be honest with you now.
Go ahead, what? Say it again.
Aunts and uncles be trying it, and they think they know more than the parents do sometimes.
Well, yeah.
How do you navigate that? You know?
Well, you navigate it by saying, I love you and I respect you, but I just don't want to have that conversation right now. Period.
We're
Full
not
stop.
having that
Full stop.
conversation.
We're just not having that conversation. And that's okay. You're an adult, you know, and if you don't want to talk about something, no matter who it is, you have that right. And it's unfortunate for us as parents, because I do the same thing. I'm guilty. But this is a world we live in. And if we understand each other and we navigate and handle each other respectfully, we can communicate cross generations and everybody leaves feeling a sense of dignity, come on, and value. Mm-hmm. And we understand. And I tell my kids all the time, but I don't care how you say what you say, just do it respectfully. And so I think for us as baby boomers, we have to be mindful that we don't overstep and get into a situation where we're trying to control how the next generation lives. You guys get a chance, and you have a right to choose your life and live how you want to live.
And there's a whole nother generation between between Gen Z and baby boomers. There's Gen X, which is in their early 50s.
Oh, forgot about Gen X.
And
yes.
then there's the millennials. And
yes.
then there's Gen Z after us.
Yes. So we're talking about a lot of different generations. We got because but each generation, this is what you all have to understand. Whether you're a Gen X, that's under me.
That's right under you.
That's the
And
50s.
then the millennials
are under that.
And then there's me, Gen Z. I'm
Okay.
a first year Gen Z.
And so if any of this is confusing to y'all, it's kind of confusing to us too. But at the end of the day, the most important thing to know is every generation that comes along is due a measure of respect. And so you honor that, because when you do, you not only honor them, but you honor God. But don't let the devil trick you into thinking that you are equal to your parents on any level. You are not. And God expects you to handle them like they are royalty. I love it when I hear younger generation call their elders queens or kings, because that is the posture and the honor that you all should give, especially if your parents have been honorable, hardworking, loyal, faithful Christians who has given you the best life that they could afford. They're due honor, because one day the same thing that you offer out is going to come back to you. And if you don't do it in the manner that pleases God,
then you shouldn't have kids, because it's going to come back.
Absolutely. Don't have no babies, because you're going to get what you give. Okay, come on.
I got a couple more questions.
Okay, are any of our listeners asking questions? We've got any questions from them yet?
No.
I don't know. Check your phone. Let's see. Let's see. This is our first broadcast, so y'all just hang on with us. We're having a good time, and I hope you all are too. But the pizza dough is rising. Let's take a look at that, and I'm going to show you how quick. Oh my! You look at this. Look at this, guys. Look how. Look. You see that? You see that? And I don't think it's even been 10 minutes. We're going to give it just a few more minutes. But look how this pizza dough has risen already.
Beautifully.
Yep.
No, they're just they're not really asking questions. They're just agreeing with us.
Okay.
So they just had a conversation with their nephew, Miss Ray.
Miss Ray says she just had a conversation with her nephew about the same thing.
Yep.
Okay. And I've talked to a lot of baby boomers in my age. They are having challenges with their children, grandchildren, in a manner of respect. If we can do anything to help this world at large, it would be to make sure we honor and love our seniors. I'm a senior now. And make sure you honor and love me, because that's what I'm going to be about these days. I'm about love. And sometimes you don't realize that even though your parents, I'm 69, but I feel good, and I think I look pretty good too. I'm healthy. But sometimes our younger, our children and our grandchildren think because we look good that we don't have heartbreak, that we are not carrying burdens that they don't even know, because we don't talk about them. And so you have to understand, we have a whole lot of things going on in our lives. Blood pressure issues, heart issues, kidney issues, lung issues. We have things going on, and the simple fact of aging that makes even things harder for us. And so it's important that as your parents and your grandparents age, that you treat them with the utmost honor, because when you do, you invoke the favor and the love of God. I never disrespected my parents when I became grown. I'm going to tell you right now, I was scared to. When I was a child, I talked back and got my behind beat. But when I became an adult, I was afraid to act a fool with my parents, because I said, God will beat me. I
got my last whooping at 20.
Yeah. Well, I got my last one when I was 18, talking back to my daddy. And he was on a cane, but he said, Mom, he hit me with that cane. I shut my mouth, too.
All right, so if you guys have any questions, you guys should type it in the comments.
Yeah, join the conversation. We're talking about issues, family dynamics, and how to maintain respect and value. I tell people, go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. Mm-hmm. So no matter who it is, why would I spend time around people that don't treat me with respect and love me and honor me, when I can go any number of places and get applauded for just walking in the room? So it's important that we treat each other with love and kindness and respect, because everything that we give is going to come back to us. And how you lay down and sleep at night is important. So how you treat people means a lot, and especially parents and grandparents.
So I have an interesting one. I didn't break this down, but I feel the need to ask it for whatever reason.
Okay, go ahead, girl.
Okay, so how are we supposed to respond if we start believing in a different religion than our family and they don't treat us kindly? Like, how can we, kind of navigate that situation?
Well, again, everything is done respectfully. We can't honor God and not honor our parents. We can't honor God and not honor the elderly, or elders, because this is his order, because he knew the dynamics that he was creating. He's the one that raised us up in the stages that we develop, from a baby, infant, to a toddler, to a child, to a preteen, to a teenager, to an adult. And each one of those points of development come with a stage of rebellion. And so he wants us to be independent. He wants us to have our own path and our own lives. And he wants us to hear his voice. But the first voice he wants us to hear is that of our parents. And I know a lot of people say, well, what if your parents ain't this and what if they ain't that? I know God said, honor your mother and your father, that your days may be long upon the earth. It doesn't qualify it. He says, honor them. And even if your parents aren't what you think they should be, you are still required to honor them. And so we handle our parents with respect, and no matter what. And I think for the Gen Xers and Zs and even millennials that have parents, millennials are the older. They're right up under us. Is that right?
No, there's Gen X.
Gen X.
Right under you.
Gen X, they're close to us, but they are not us. So we got 10 years. Let me finish. We got 10 years on them. So there's a whole lot of knowledge and wisdom and experience that we have. So no matter where you are, there's something you can gain from the person that's a few steps above you. And if you do that, then you will be able to share with the generation that's coming in under you. But if you don't honor the ones over you, then you won't have a voice to say, give honor to whom honor is due, because you didn't. Go ahead. What's your next question?
So when I asked that question, I kind of meant, like, say if someone was like, oh, they grew up in a Christian household, and they're like, well, I found something in Buddhism that I want to try, and they decide to veer off.
Right.
And their family is kind of shutting them out and mean to them. Like, how can they try to reconcile with their family or relate?
Okay, great question. Because, most of us, when we grow and mature and understand what salvation is all about, or even start a spiritual journey, we become seekers. And so that's a good thing, because each of us has to stand before God for ourselves. Each of us has to find our own path and our own peace. And I'm a Christian, but I have a totally different worldview than most Christians. I don't adhere to all the strict rigidness and dogmatic doctrine that is used to control people and to basically mash everybody into a box. I think we can be Christians and be unique. I think we can be Christians and be on different levels. I think we can be Christians and have other interests like Buddhism, and I don't really know much about any of the other religions. Muslim, Islam, Catholicism. I don't think that's really considered Christian. I think it's a different denomination even in itself.
They kind of think they are, but
yeah, it's a little different. But at any rate, everybody gets to find their own path. And if we have lived, parents, hear me, if we have lived this life in front of our children and it's a good life, why wouldn't they want to live it? You know what I mean? And so we got to choose, so they get to choose. If you're a Christian now and you're an adult, it's because you accepted Jesus as your Lord and Savior. You accepted him. And all we can do as parents is to pray for our children and give them strong values and teach them the way of the Lord, if that's what you're wanting to do. If you're Jewish or whatever your faith is, you teach them what your faith is. And if they follow it, it's great. But if they don't, I don't think God wants you abandoning them. I don't think he wants you, making them feel uncomfortable when they come around you. I think it's important that we as Christians just love. So that's where I am at this stage in my life. I've lived this life before my children, and they know the energy and the faith that I have. They've seen my works. My life is an open book, and I love it because he said we become living epistles, seen and read of all men. So hopefully my life has given people opportunity to see what it means to be a Christian. Have joy, peace, power, determination, hope. That's a big one. To be an overcomer. That's what we get as being Christians. But if our family members want to choose another path, we wish them well.
And don't shut them out.
We don't shut them out. We pray for them. And we live our lives. And wait for God to do what only God can do.
So basically, for the person that's suffering through that right now, just stay respectful.
There you go. Love them.
Love them. And, try to find a way to find a common ground, even if it's outside of
religion.
Religion or
right.
doing.
It may be outside of religion.
Yeah.
It may be that both of you like to shop, or you go get your nails done together. You walk where you walk. You walk where you can agree.
Right. So I guess my next question is, how can I cope with being the family scapegoat? Not just with your parents, but it's transpired down to your siblings, cousins, whatever. It might be usually one person that the family tends to blame everything on and gang up on. How can they cope with dealing with that?
Well, I think the most important thing to do is the internal work. How do I cope with it? I do the work internally to see what am I attributing to this energy. Why am I the scapegoat? Is it something that I'm giving off? Am I guilty of any of the things that I'm being blamed for? Or am I just, struggling through their misunderstanding? So I think that's where you have to start, doing the internal work. We have to see, start with me, because I can't answer for anybody else.
Right.
That's the thing. We don't know. My bishop said everybody's normal till you get to know them.
But what if it's based on something that the person can't control, and that's why they're the family scapegoat?
Well, I think in that instance, I always say grace for grace. You just have to love people where they are. It just may not happen the way you think it should happen. But at the end of the day, only God has a heaven or hell. So we just have to let people keep on peopling. Let's take a look at our dough.
Let's take a look at our dough.
Woo-hoo!
Oh,
okay, family, here we go. I told you it was going to be fast. So, now, let me rinse my hands off here again real quick. Okay. And we can get some of this stuff out of the way. We don't need this anymore. I'll put this over here. And we can put this down here. Get our board cleaned off here a little bit. We're going to put a little more flour on it. All right. Look at this beautiful dough. What y'all think about that? Can you see that? Isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful.
I told y'all this wasn't going to take very long. Now, here's my deep dish pan. This is a great pan. I got it at Aldi's. Be on the lookout. They generally sell them. I do need that oil. They sell them seasonally. And you'll catch them on sale when you do buy them. It's a great pan. It's great for baking. But you may be able to find these in another store as well. But you want to put a good amount of oil on here. I don't know if you can see that running.
Nice and oily.
Yeah, you want You want it really, really oily because the beautiful thing about the Detroit deep dish style pizza is that crispy crust. And you get that with a good oily pan. And put a little more in there. Yeah, it ain't gonna hurt. Olive oil is really good for you. Here's our dough. I'm putting it in here and I'm just using my fingers. You see that?
Trying to.
Yeah. You got that good? Can you see that?
Yeah, let me
Yeah,
lower
you
it.
might want to lower it a little bit. What about that one right there?
Where?
Yeah. You got that? Can you see it? Yeah, turn it around this way just a little bit. We're trying to get y'all to, get this
see
way.
it.
Come back this way.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there we go. That's a little better. So that's what we got going on. And all I'm doing is pushing it to the side. You see how I'm doing this? That's good right there, the way you got it. See how I'm doing this? I'm making a little lip, but I'm mashing it. You don't want to put any holes in it. You just want to put a little lip around there. Okay, what do you think about that? That look pretty good? Now, we're going to let this rise. I have my oven set at 450 degrees. We're going to let this rise for just a few minutes. It's not going to take long because it didn't take long for it to rise. So we're going to cover it. We're going to let it rise. And then I'll show you how we're going to top it and bake it and go from there. So we're going to set that there. And so we got any questions? Let's see.
Yes, let's see if we have any questions. Let's see.
But I hope you guys are all doing great tonight. It's beautiful here in Michigan. We're having a great time. We don't have any guests this weekend. So that's why we decided to do our bake-off and show you how to do a deep dish pizza. Can you see? Do you have any questions there? You can't tell. Go ahead and scroll it up if you need to. It's not going. It's over there.
No, I just see some comments.
Okay. I can't see them.
Well, if you guys watch the replay, you guys have any questions later, we'll try to address them as soon as possible.
So, did you ask all your questions? Did you get through all of them?
I tried to. I have a couple more.
I'm trying to see. I can't tell. This is our first one, so y'all hang with us. We're going to get better each week. I can't even tell how to scroll up or down to see. But go ahead. You ask it. She had a bunch of questions for me.
Right,
So.
I had a whole bunch of questions. So, what if my family doesn't support my goals?
Oh, well, you know what? You support your own. If you're an adult, you don't need people to support you. You need God. You need faith. You need purpose. Purpose driven. When you're purpose driven, you don't have to have a whole lot of fans. I'm gonna tell you from experience. Now, family. I started a lot of businesses. I never looked to anybody but God. If the family wants to come on board and help you, that's wonderful. I support everybody, but you don't always get support. So,
Yeah.
do you chase your dream?
Do you, boo? All right, so how can relatives from different generations relate when there's a difference in their moral compass because of the generation that they come from?
Wow, that's a good
Because
one.
I know not to put my aunt on blast, but we've had conversations where she's also a baby boomer, and she doesn't quite understand the lingo that Gen Z uses. And sometimes it can be offensive
It is.
to you guys, but it may seem normal
To you.
to us.
Yes. Well, I tell you, and you're so right. You know, a lot of people in my generation think people that are in your generation are disrespectful. There's a reason for it. But having said all that, the only way we're going to be able to benefit from each other's knowledge, because make no mistake about it, Gen Z has knowledge. They have ability and they have gifts. We're here to kind of guide and direct and counsel and give them whatever wisdom that we have. But at the end of the day, your decisions are yours. I think one reason why we sometimes overstep our bounds as parents and being in this being in this baby boomer kind of generation is because we are fearful of the world that we live in, and we don't want our children to get caught up in some things that we know can trip you up. And the language is changing, and people are freer with how they speak and what they do. But at the end of the day, honor is that's the standard. And if you honor, God's going to bless you no matter what. So I always say grace for grace, but also honor for honor. Give honor to whom honor is due. And if you do, you just got to love us. We can be irritating and
a little insufferable.
And a little bit insufferable. But at the end of the day, it's all in love. And so we hope that translates one way or the other. I always try to end my conversations with "I love you," even if we done had a big issue. I love all my family, but sometimes we don't get along. We don't understand each other. In which case, we just have to wait for an opportunity to communicate and come together.
And it's so hard because it's like, okay, you guys have an issue with Gen Z and millennials.
Yeah.
But then if you want something done, like electronically or whatever, y'all looking at us.
Yes.
Like, okay, because like Facebook and all this
Yeah.
stuff, it was made for college students.
Yes, you're
So
true.
We're
True.
college age.
Yes.
And you guys are coming on our platform and trying to tell us
Well-
how to have our furniture in our house.
Well, I know you guys say it's your platform, but those millions and millions of dollars that are being recorded every day in Facebook headquarters is not coming from college students. So there.
She told me, she said, I'm going to delete you off of Facebook so you can be free to be yourself. And I don't feel like it should come to that. I feel like we should have a middle ground.
Well, I'm not Facebook friends with my daughters because they don't want me to see what they post and they don't want to look at what I post. And I'm okay with that. We just have to be okay with what's okay. And I'm okay with that because some of the stuff they post, I really don't want to see anyway. So, but it's not a matter of being disrespectful. It's just a matter of saying we're on two different planes. We have two different visions. When you're up here, you can see, but when you're here, you can't see as much. And so, not to say that you guys are blind because you're not as old as we are, but we just see things differently. And for that reason, we still have to love and respect each other, even though we're not seeing things eye to eye. Don't you agree?
I agree.
Good thing. Let's take a look at that pizza because this thing is rising quicker than we know.
Let's take a look at it.
Oh boy, I think it's looking pretty good. It's not high, but we're gonna put it in the oven just so you can see. I'm gonna put this here.
How long are we putting it in for?
We're gonna put it in for about 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
It's on 450 degrees. We're gonna put it on the bottom shelf. It's sliding. We're gonna put it on the bottom shelf so that it can get a little rise on it. And then we're going to take it out of the oven and we're gonna top it. I'll show you how to do that and put the cheese on it and then we'll give it a taste.
We'll move from there.
I hope you guys are enjoying our little conversation.
Yes. And we're excited to be sharing with you all tonight. And if you have any questions, you got something you want answered, well, we're in the kitchen with Chelsea. Momma Dora is in the kitchen with Chelsea.
So I actually have a question. It's not really for them. It's for me.
Okay.
What was life like in the olden ages? Like when you were... when you guys were my age, like what was life
your age?
Compose,
Your-
compared to now.
Oh.
What was the world like? Was it better? Was it more fun?
Oh my, it was more fun. We had the baddest generation of all the generations and the baddest generation of all the generations. Listen, we had the best music.
You guys do.
We had the best dances. Our dances were just amazing. Our dances were love stories. we weren't engaged in the kind of dance activity that you guys are doing these days.
You guys did that back in the 1920s, though. Well, maybe not you guys. But
Well,
the
yeah, yeah.
generation definitely used to twerk. So.
They twerked in the 20s.
Yeah.
Really? I came along when we were doing a dance called a boomerang. We were doing the robot. I'm trying to think of something else that was an early dance. Oh my Lord, I got away from dancing for so long I can't even remember what we did. We always two-stepped. That was a wonderful dance, and still doing that today. You got Detroit, Chicago.
House music?
Yes, house music was a big thing. Our parties were house parties.
With the blue lights?
Yes, and red lights. And the black lights.
Those were real parties?
Yes, packed out, and nobody got shot.
In the basement?
In the basement or upstairs. I had my graduation party upstairs, and we were dancing and having a great time until somebody, my mother and father were there. They were sleeping in their bedroom, and somebody was trying to get to the bathroom, and they accidentally opened the door to my parents' bedroom, and my father shut the whole party down.
Oh.
But yeah, we had great parties. We had great fun. It was a different world. It was safe. We could go out. Nobody got shot. Nobody got stabbed. Well, occasionally, but not as frequently. I think we had the best clothing. We were suave and sophisticated.
Used to dress up, just go to the grocery store.
Yes.
And get on a plane, too.
Yes, sophisticated, stylish. It was a totally different world.
No bonnets.
No bonnets. We didn't go out like that. No rollers. My mother and my first ladies, they wouldn't let me go out with no hair rollers. We didn't roll like that.
That's something I agree with.
Yeah, so I think our generation was an amazing generation. We brought forth a lot. We brought forth women's lib. We freed ourselves from all the male constructs of how we should wear our hair and how we should dress. This was in high school. We staged a walkout so that we could wear pants and shorts, and so we could wear tank tops, and so that the guys could wear their hair below their ears, and that the black guys could wear afros. So I think it was the best generation.
That sounds kind of fun. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. We had a great time. There was and you didn't always have to be coupled up. You could just go out. You know, your girlfriends or, family, sisters. Me and my sisters used to go out.
So you guys, that's what we call stag, I guess.
Yeah. You go to parties and just have fun. You come home and you're alive and safe, Yeah, so we didn't have cell phones, of course. We had what they call party lines, where you could call and then say, hold on, I'm going to call somebody else. And then that person would call somebody else. So you might have 3 or 4 people on a call. But we called it a party line, but I guess it's kind of like a... But it sounds more, it sounds like the group chat, doesn't it?
Okay, so because you could FaceTime several people at one time now.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So that's what
Yeah. I'm going to check on the pizza.
Let's check on the pizza.
I think it's ready to go in. I set it out for just a few more minutes. I'm going to put it in. We're going to give it about 5 minutes. And then we're going to be ready to top it. But I'm so happy for all of you that are still with us. If you got any questions, share this video. We're about to get ready to bring the pizza out of the oven. It's just the dough that's cooked. And we're going to put some toppings on it. I got some pizza sauce somewhere. Let me find it. That's one thing I didn't pull out. Well, I'll find our pizza dough here, our pasta sauce here in just a minute. But we're going to top it. I've got some pepperoni. And this is turkey pepperoni. So it's going to be a lot easier on you calorically. It's not going to have as much fat. And I think you'll find that you won't have as much or less if you're prone to having some indigestion issues. Turkey with the lower fat content is better suited for your stomach. So we've got that, and we got onions. We chopped up some fresh onions. I got some green peppers. And we have some cheese. I got some cheddar jack under this mozzarella. We're going to put it all on the pizza. So we'll see how it goes. So how are we doing?
We're
doing all right?
I
Okay.
had all my questions. questions. So.
Okay, got all her
And
questions.
we had some comments. Some people are also replying about how life was.
Back then,
Right,
back then. Is your phone dead? Can you pull it up?
Dead. It's totally dead.
Here, plug it in. Plug it in. We're gonna look at the comments because I can't see them on this phone.
Yep. I can kind of see it a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, we're gonna see what you all are saying because this was the best generation, and you all, if you think your generation was the best generation, just go ahead and comment and let us know why. Let us know why. But I think baby boomers, I think we're the bomb. I think that's why they called us boomers, because we're the bomb.
Is that right?
We're the bomb, baby. We're the bomb. And we have a lot of things that we've accomplished. And I know that those that are coming behind us are going to be equally as successful. But the baby boomers, we were the trailblazers. We were the trailblazers. We came out with guns blasting, going forward and being and changing. We made a shift in this country. And I think that mark is going to be indelible for years to come because of the impact. So if you think your generation is the best generation,
comment down below.
Comment. Let us know what you think. But I think it's the baby boomers.
You guys make the best 70s R&B. Like,
Yeah.
me and my friends really do appreciate the music, so thank you.
Yeah. Because, that's love music.
Yes.
Yeah. Always told a story. I got some on my glasses. Always told a story.
Always had meaning.
Great vocals. Our singers had great vocals. They were the bomb.
You had to have talent.
Smokey Robinson. Yeah, he had real talent. Wasn't no, what was that tune, the iTunes thing?
SoundCloud.
We didn't have none of that. We had real voices singing real melodies, and they were the bomb. Bomb diggity. Let me check on that pizza, see how we're doing.
And let me check these comments real
Yeah.
quick.
Read those comments. Let me know who's saying what.
Someone asked, can you send them a piece of pizza?
Who said that?
Elder Linda Adams, sorry.
Who?
Elder Linda Adams.
Adams, can I send her a piece of pizza? I'll make some pizza when you and your husband come visit. How about that?
And then she also said, my mother raised 6 girls, made sure our hair was pressed and curled.
Okay.
And dressed appropriate back then.
Okay.
And Josephine said, we're the bomb.
We are the bomb. Yes.
And then Ray Jean Clinton said, we can't honor God and not honor the children either, because he commands us to not provoke our children unto wrath. I know for me, it was only until I stopped trying to raise my children the way my mother tried to raise us, the way my mother did things, and it provoked them, and I used the same tactic and provoked my children against me. So I had to know each child and work with them on their own level. And I agree.
Excellent point, my sister. You are so right. Every generation has to acknowledge the value of the generation that's coming behind them. And I know exactly what you mean, because I'll tell you what, I apologize to all my children, many times, my adult children, for the way that I raised them in allegiance to how my parents raised me. But my grandkids, I said, we're not going that way, but then we're going to do it differently. But she is so right, Regine, you are so right, my sister. We have to honor the children. I believe honor is due on both sides. As we talk about communication, there can be no communication if we're not respectful. Right. That's the most important thing. And so you can disagree with your parents as long as you're respectful. And the same way with parents. I think we can disagree with our children. Their lifestyles, the thing they do, we can give them insight and wisdom. God will give us wisdom on how to communicate with them. And there were many times, I remember when one of my grandsons, my grandson Carl, when he was living with us, me and him, when he started to become a teenager, was, as they say, was starting to smell himself and becoming, I said, listen, I love you, but every time we talk, we got some yow going on. So why don't we just do this? Why don't you do your thing? I'll do mine. If you need me, I'm here. If not, hey, I'm cool. Deuces, And we had to spend, he and I had to spend about 3 or 4 good months just acknowledging each other and greeting each other, being respectful, but just not communicating until one day he came home from school and sat down and talked to me for 3 hours. I told my husband, I said, well, I guess he's ready to talk now. So sometimes you just have to give children their space and help them to understand that you're here to help them and to raise them and to guide them. But if they receive it, wonderful. But if they don't, there's a lesson that is going to also carry a consequence. So obedience is important, but respect is also equally as important. So I hope I hit that, because you're so right.
Yeah, Angel Gordon said, hey, Diva, what you're saying is true. Good teaching.
Oh, Angel, thank you, sweetie. Always good to hear from you. You know how we were raised. And I think it's important that we raise our children with those same values, if not a different way. God gives us wisdom. And when you see that you're coming up against a lot of resistance, sometimes that's God's signal for you to take your hands off. My kids get worried when I tell them I wish you well, because they know basically what I'm saying is, I'm just going to put you in God's hands.
That's so scary.
Yeah, it's more scary. It's more scary to be in God's hands than to be worrying about my little yappity yap. So you don't want to hear this, I just say, okay. But if you love it, my kids know my favorite saying is, if you like it, I love it. So whatever you like, I love. And I'm not going to be fighting you, trying to keep you from running into a train, and you determined to go, because if I keep hanging on, you're going to run into the train and you're going to drag me with you. So every now and then, parents, what you think you need to be doing is really just stepping back and let God take it from there. And you'll have peace, you'll have joy, you won't be as worried. Pray and give it to God.
Yes. Yep, so those are all of our comments.
Okay, we got all the comments. Let me grab this pizza, because I think it's ready to come out and get topped.
You think it's ready?
I think it's ready.
Okay.
All right, family. I don't know when we started. I should have timed it, but I think we're still within the 1 hour.
Yeah.
Look at that, family. How about that? So we got this beautiful pizza crust. See that? It's ready. I got to put another plate under it so we can top it.
Our views are starting to kind of go back up a little bit.
Okay, good. They like food. Anytime we talk about stuff they ain't so much interested, but we keep talking about this food, they'll be all right. Okay, y'all see this pizza right here? Okay, this looks lovely. Now, what I like to do.
Is it hard? Does it feel hard?
It's soft. You can touch the corner of it there. We're gonna eat this so we can touch it.
It's fluffy.
It's our pizza. Now, I always have butter. I love soft butter because I make rolls and stuff. So I keep butter that I can just rub. You see this? Look what I'm doing to that crust. I'm slathering this crust with butter. Look at that. And if you can top this crust, the border, with whatever you want. You see that I got a lot of butter on there.
Yeah.
So you can top this. Let me see what I got over here to put. Do you like everything bagel seasoning?
I wouldn't go there.
Okay, you're not that adventurous. Well, how about garlic powder?
We can do garlic powder.
Okay, so you can put whatever you want. I like this. That makes a nice little crust. Garlic powder or just herbs. If you have Italian herbs, you can put that on there. But we're going to hit this with a little bit of garlic powder. So we got butter, and then we're going to put it around just the border. We won't have to put it on the whole pizza. Just the border.
Pizza is what you make it, guys.
Now, turkey pepperoni. We start with pepperoni. Let me take my glasses off because it keeps sliding off my nose anyway. We start with pepperoni. And I leave about a 1/4 inch border. I come here around the top. I like a lot of pepperoni, so you see they're close together. Like a lot of pepperoni. See that?
Yeah.
And this is turkey pepperoni. You can use regular pepperoni, or you can use ground beef. You can use sausage, Italian sausage. Moms, when you come home from work and you want to do something, you see how quick this dough is to put together. But you can also use Italian sausage, or you can use regular sausage. Add a little bit of Italian seasoning and some fennel seed. I keep fennel seed. I hope I can find it here quick. Fennel seed and what else? Italian. You can take your, this is fennel seed. It's that little, you may like this, you may not. I love it. I like to bite into that when I'm eating pizza. It has kind of a nutty, minty kind of taste, that fennel. And it's really nice. It's very prominent in Italian sausage. So you can make your own Italian sausage with ground turkey. You can use ground turkey, garlic powder, seasoning salt, and fennel seed and Italian dressing, and you can make Italian sausage out of ground turkey. And we could use that to top it too. You can make steak and cheese pizza. You can use ground beef. So we got our pepperoni. I always start with the meat first. And as you notice, I did not put sauce on this. The sauce on a Detroit pizza goes on the top. So we're gonna put that on last. So we got our pepperoni. We're gonna just, don't have to be any particular way. If you like peppers, just dump them on there. We got some onion. See that? We're gonna put the onion on there. I think that's enough. And last,
And we have a lot of cheese, guys.
Yeah.
She loves cheese.
I do. I love it. I love it for it to be cheesy. And you see, I got two kinds. We got mozzarella, but then down under there, I got that good cheddar jack too, to just make it.
Yes.
Oh.
If you're liking this
Cheesy.
video, guys, make sure you guys heart it
And share it.
and share it.
Come on now, y'all know I don't ask y'all to share too much stuff. So share this video. I'm back.
We're back.
Cooking. I'm in the kitchen with Chelsea. And we're going to try to do a video once a week. Okay? So if you guys have some things that you want us to teach or talk about, shoot us some ideas in the comments. If you want us to, if you have some family issues, relational issues. I love talking about relationships. Hey, let's cook in the kitchen and share. Okay? So how about this? How wonderful is that looking? Does that look good?
It looks
Now,
good to me.
Hold on. Talk to him for a minute, Chelsea. I gotta go
Okay.
get the pasta sauce.
Okay. So, we have our pizza here. Probably gonna take mine and go. But doesn't it look beautiful? I really hope you guys enjoyed our conversation today, because we have many more videos planned, and it took us a while to get this ready just for you guys. So I hope you guys are looking forward to these weekly videos. I can only imagine where Auntie Dora is right now. But yep. So if you have any more questions, please. Yes, it is yummy, Miss Amanda. Auntie Dora can cook. She loves to be in the kitchen. But if you have any questions for us, please place them in the comments. I beg of you, please put them in the comments. And we actually look forward to talking to you guys. So, you got it?
You can use any kind of pizza sauce that you like. I had to run and find it. Got it open. Use any kind that you like. This is just it's not even generic. It's store brand. So here's the way you top your pizza. Hold on, let me get a spoon. I was gonna dump it, so I'm gonna use a spoon. Okay.
We're doing things a little sophisticated today.
Yeah. Now this pizza, you see how I'm putting, I usually just make lines. Maybe hold that camera down here a little bit.
Yeah.
There we go. See how I'm doing this? This is how I do. Uh-oh.
Dolores Anderson said this interview is great.
Oh, thank you, Dolores. So wonderful to have you join us. Please add to the conversation.
Please do, guys. Please.
Yes.
We want to interact with you guys. We want to know that it's helping somebody.
Tell us your insight and wisdom in regard to just how we as a people can continue to maintain generational lines, and how do we best do that? Because we need one another. Mm-hmm. And the devil and the enemy wants us isolated from our children, from our families, and we run with the most petty and non-important things. And it goes on sometimes for years. And the lessons and the opportunities and the love and the fellowship is lost because of something very petty. So I'd love for you guys to chime in about that and give us some strategies on what we can do to respect each other
Bridge the gap.
and bridge this gap so that we can all have and gain an understanding. The Bible says wisdom is the principal thing. But in all you're getting, get an understanding. So here we go, guys. Does that look like enough sauce, or do I need more? What do you think? It looks like enough, but I'm going to put a little more on there. Just because. All right. It's going into the oven. 450 degrees.
Miss Amanda, we're going to try to do this once a week. So be ready for us.
Yeah. Excuse me. Give us some topics.
And then we already have some topics for you guys. But if you guys have any suggestions about something you personally want us to talk about, let us know.
Give us some topics. But let's see how we're doing here. Oh, blessings to you, sis. Love you. I know you can relate. I got some ketchup on my shirt.
Casualties of war.
Casualties. As we are growing and learning, it helps us a lot to understand where each other is coming from. I love my children. My children all know that. We don't always agree, but at the end of the day, we all have to be respectful. And that's what I always say. And if you can't be respectful, we don't have any communication. We have to be respectful. And that's a small thing, but it speaks to accountability, not just to yourself and your parents, but also to God. That's something he wants from us. And if we learn how to do that, we're going to have a better world, and we'll have a better culture because we are stronger together, no matter what. So we have about 15 minutes. And if you all have some more questions, let's get at it because we got 15 minutes to fill in.
And for the moms that are like wanting to cook this, it will not take you as long to cook this recipe. Like, you will probably be able to finish it within 45 minutes, but we're talking, so I just wanted to point that out. It is a quick recipe.
It is a quick recipe. It's a quick recipe. There's only 5 ingredients in the pizza crust: the flour, the salt, the water, the yeast, and olive oil. And then you make it whatever you want to make it. That's how simple it is. And I showed you how to make a proofer. Just run about 2 inches of water in a sink that's hot but not scalding. It's very warm. And you put your bowl, after you make your dough, you put it in this bowl or whatever bowl you have, and you put it in the water, you cover it up, and you let it sit for a few minutes. After about 5-10 minutes, it's probably going to double in size. So from there, all you do is put it in the pan, bake it, get it set, and now we have it in the oven, and it's going to brown, and the crust is going to get nice and crispy, and the cheese is going to get all melty and good and gooey, and it's going to be a wonderful and easy meal for your family or for a Saturday evening snack. So we don't have any more questions?
I'm going to look for some more comments.
Questions or comments?
Dolores Anderson said, I agree, the baby boomers were the best. I was the last of the silent generation, but baby, I claim to be a boomer. They were the best we had.
All right.
So clean, fun, and
Yes.
broke a lot of barriers.
Yes, yeah.
Let's see. Cosetta Hiram said the best conversations come out in the kitchen. I love this.
Oh, great, great. We were hoping to recreate that same type of energy around the kitchen, talking to multi-generations, sharing our own thoughts and our own ideas, and actually proving that it can be done respectfully. Because we haven't agreed about everything, haven't we, Chelsea?
I think we pretty much had the same idea, though.
We had the same ideas. But as a baby boomer, as a baby boomer, I do see things different than she does.
Yeah.
But we can still have a conversation about it. And that's what's so important. We have got to get back to civil discourse and intelligent dialogue. I mean, we can do that, people. Let's do it. And let's come back to the kitchen and hang out for a while. You learn some things.
I think I'm enjoying this just as much as they are.
Yeah, good. That's important. You know, I'll tell you one of the things that I have at the top of my list concerning the cultural things that we deal with, and that is our young women. So many of them are working hard, single moms, and they're really struggling and challenged. But I want to tell you, you know, you can be the best. You can be by yourself. You don't have to feel like you're less than or you're incomplete. You can be a phenomenal individual until God sends you a suitable mate. I think sometimes we jump the gun too fast. We're trying to mend our broken hearts too soon, so we're rebounding from one relationship to the other before we're really evaluating and thinking about the long-range consequences of being with someone that you really, you know, don't know that well, or just wanting to be with somebody. But before we get with anybody, we got to get with ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Another topic about how to date properly. You know, a conversation just like we're having, but like from the baby boomer perspective, how to effectively date.
How to date effectively. That's a good topic, because dating should be, it should have a purpose.
Right.
And and I think with the purpose, you also got to decide your why. So are you dating because you just want companionship? You're not planning on getting married? Then I say, hey, have fun, meet lots of people, enjoy life. But if you want to have a companion, then you have to start looking at some things that will kind of be suitable for longevity.
Yeah.
You know? So we can talk about that. That'll be our topic for another time, because that's a deep piece right there.
How about next week?
How about next week? Next week we're going to be talking about dating from a 69-year-old grandmama perspective. Let's do it. So join us next week. I'm not sure what we're going to be cooking. We may, if we miss next Saturday, we have a full house, I believe, next Saturday. So I may not be doing this next Saturday. But if we miss Saturday, we'll come back and pick it up maybe a weekday that we might have available. We'll keep y'all posted. But we're going to endeavor to do one video a week. And we are hoping it'll be on Saturdays. But if not, if we are booked, then it may not always work. So stay tuned, we'll let you know. But I'm glad you guys are enjoying this conversation. I think it's a safe space where we can share and have our feelings and our thoughts heard. And we can just, you know, have a good time. And afterwards, we're going to eat pizza. How about that?
Period.
Period.
Oh,
Period.
some more comments.
Okay, let's go.
Miss Dolores Anderson said, "Who is the nice young lady doing this interview?"
Oh, isn't she amazing? Isn't she amazing? Let me tell you about this young lady. This young lady is the phenomenal Chelsea Robinson. And you guys may not know her, but she's an actress. She's in school studying to be an RN.
Yeah, an LPN.
LPN. She is a member of the Dungy family.
Yes, I am.
Which you all will know Tony Dungy. Who is Tony to you?
He's my mom's first cousin.
Tony is her mom's first cousin. So you got that connection. Great family, phenomenal, exceptional young woman. And her mom and I are really good friends. Her dad and all of us, my husband, we just love to hang out with them. We have a lot of fun. They were here with us. Her parents were here with us on Valentine's Day with the other couples. So she's a phenomenal young woman, and she has a tremendous upbringing. Her mom and her dad are both in ministry.
And I'm an author. I have my own standalone book.
Oh, she's an author. It's on Amazon. What's the name of it?
It's called Golden Tones, Writing with Soul, and it's on Barnes & Noble and Amazon.
Okay, so there you go. So look it up. You want to hear more of her quips and quotes?
Yep.
Get her book, okay? So, yes, that's who she is, and I'm so honored. I prayed. I said, God, I need a young person. I'm here in Michigan, and all my family is in Indy, and some is there, and I don't have a lot of young people around me, but God always sends what you need. And I prayed. Chelsea didn't even know I had been praying. God, I need a media consultant. I need somebody to help me with my videos and some of the things that I have planned coming up. Yeah, I got more things planned, y'all. but that Generation Z, those are the ones that are productive. They're the ones that can get things done. So while we may have our differences, we got a whole lot of reasons why we need one another. So she came by and hung out with us when her mother and I was fishing and hung out. And the Lord said, there's your help right there. And I said, girl, what you doing? So we got to chatting and laugh. And I said, let's do this. So here we are. And I'm excited because I think it's going to be a blessing to me. It's going to be a blessing to her. And it's also going to be a blessing to you all. These are conversations that maybe we want to have with our own family, but we don't always get that opportunity. So now that we're talking, we're multi-generational. We've got our different perspectives, but we endeavor to come to an understanding. And that's what I love about what we're doing today. It's helping to bridge the gap between the various generations and helping us to have some understanding and knowledge in how to handle and entreat one another. And so to the generations, the millennials, the Gen Zs, the Gen Xers, and all of those that are under the silent generation, we have to respect one another. That's the message of tonight. We have to respect one another. And if we do, we can get along. We can disagree. We can even not speak. Sometimes it takes time to heal. It takes time, especially when you get to my age. I used to snap back from a lot of things, but I'm not doing a lot of drama and foolishness these days. If it ain't about peace and love and happiness, y'all can miss me. I just want to please God and live a life of service. And that's it. So that when I'm done, I'm done. I'm already looking toward the next because I've got more time behind me than I do in front of me. And God has been so good, so faithful, I really started strategizing for my life at age 14. So who I am today is not surprising to me. It's who I planned to be when I was 14. And I encourage young people, if you have a vision for your life, you need to get one because it will keep you from making foolish mistakes. You will be a person of purpose and plan, and that will give you a roadmap for your life. You won't just be waking up every day rolling and tumbling with whatever is happening. I'm very strategic in every aspect of my life. And because of that, most of the things I do succeed with the favor and the blessings of God. So I say to you today, it's important. Every plan, every purpose that you have, committed to God first. I don't just do stuff. When I was younger, I did. But once I decided who I wanted to become, my whole life has been about that. So you're not easily distracted by what other people think and how they feel or what you should be doing because you are commissioned by God to operate in the path that you're operating in because you've already inquired of him. And so it makes you more disciplined. It makes you more purposeful. And I think it makes you a happier person because you're not always feeling like you're, running behind the 8 ball. I'm on track and I'm doing exactly what God ordained for me to do. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy. I love being in front of the camera. I love teaching. I love ministering. But more than any of that, I love empowering women. So I hope that this time that we're sharing with you is a time of empowerment and encouragement, and that you will say, well, if Momma Dora can do what she's doing at 69, why do I have my dreams on the back burner? What am I waiting for? If she can do it, come on, millennials and Gen Zs and Gen Xers, come on. You can do it too. I've always taken my own path. And those that get it, and those that don't. But it's okay. because all of us get to live the kind of life that we want to live. So I encourage you to have confidence in who you are and who God created you to be. I always do this. Fingerprints. That simply means that there is no one in the world like you. Keep that in mind every time you feel like you got to get back into the box and start marching lockstep like everybody else.
You have another comment.
All right, you're different for a reason. Let me check on that pizza while we're listening to the comment.
Okay, so
Good luck.
Pastor Kim Graves said, "Good evening."
Hey, hey Kim. Woman of God, how are you?
Then Elder Linda Adams, I don't know why she called me. But Elder Linda, she said confidence and commitment to God is a good thing.
Yes.
And she said this was an excellent kitchen talk, my sister.
Oh.
And Amanda Oliver said, "I admire you, sis, in so many ways."
Oh, bless you. I admire both of you.
This was very refreshing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
I
it
think
shows
so.
that we can coexist and actually enjoy each other's company.
The pizza is ready. Now look at this family. Look at that. Look at that pizza. Now if you went down the corner to Jet's Pizza and you bought a pizza like this, it would literally cost you $30. And that's probably with the coupon.
Mm-hmm.
What you think? Look at that. Look at that.
So
Look at
delicious.
that. Look at that. Look at that. We're going to let it cool for just a minute, just so that the sauce can set, the cheese can set a little bit, and then we're going to cut it, and we're going to mukbang it. She told me that mukbang,
People pronounce it different ways.
well, we're going to mukbang this pizza in just a few minutes. We got to let it cool. Because if you don't, it'll just kind of, so we're going to let the sauce settle. We're going to let that cheese kind of settle. Then we're going to cut it. And we're going to enjoy it. We're going to we'll let you all taste it too. You can let us know what you think. But just a few minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that we were able to do this today. How do you feel? Do you think you got some questions answered? Do you feel good about the information that we shared?
I definitely feel refreshed, and I definitely feel like this was definitely worth my time.
Good. Because I'll tell you one thing that is a common trait about your generation. They're very particular about just where they spend time. You know, it has to be something beneficial, has to be something worthwhile, or something they enjoy, or they just don't do it. And they have a high bar. When you want to hang with these young people, you better bring something that's worthwhile. And I am thankful and grateful to God that Chelsea was so sweet to come and do this with me and to be a part of this social experiment, if you will. Yeah. We haven't done this before. I haven't done it, but I've always thought about having time in the kitchen because I know that the kitchen is a gathering place. It's a sacred space. Jesus utilized it a lot when he taught the disciples. So it's a sacred space that I think we need to revisit. The kitchen conversation, as I think it was Elder Linda. Yeah, it's important that we get back to those times. I've always loved being in the kitchen with my mom and listening to her share her stories. I think that's one of the reasons why I love to cook. Because when I was younger, I'm one of 7 siblings, and I would always run home from school, kindergarten to be exact, so that I could be the first one in the kitchen and get to stir the cornbread and break the eggs up. So cooking is definitely something that I have great memories and fond memories of sharing with my mom. So I hope the time that we're sharing with you and the questions that are getting asked and the stories that we're telling, I hope they are enjoyable. I hope you're learning, and I hope that this recipe will be something that you'll take home and use for yourself. It's quick, it's easy, and you can always inbox me if you have any questions. We're going to put the recipe in the comments so you'll be able to see them. But I think it's time to cut this pizza. What do y'all think? Should we cut the pizza now? Okay, we're getting some good hearts. I think we're going to go ahead.
So what we're going to do is you're going to cut it, and
Okay.
you're going to take a bite into it and tell me what you think.
Oh, you want me to
I
bite
want
into
you
it?
to taste it.
Okay, I'll taste it. I know what it tastes like, so you have to come get some too. But I'm cutting this pizza now. And I always use my big chopping knife because I can cut with it and it also acts as a scoop. Okay, I'm still going to get you a piece in here too.
Okay. Because I'm still a little full from Taco Bell.
Okay.
Because, you know, they have that grilled cheese taco, and I was like,
Girl,
oh,
we
that
not
look
making
good.
no commercials for Taco Bell. Don't start talking about that Taco Bell. We not making commercials for Taco Bell. Okay, here we go. I just cut it. I want y'all to see that cheese, what that cheese doing. Look at that. Okay, we're gonna
Cheese pull.
wrap it around there. Now look at that. That's just a small skinny piece because I don't want to eat a whole bunch, but y'all see that. Look at that. Look at that crust. Look at that. What you think about that? Okay, I got my piece. I'm going to give you yours.
Okay.
We're going to taste it at the same time.
Okay.
I'm going to tell y'all what's going on with this pizza. There's that cheese pull again. Y'all see that? You missed it. I'm going to try to flip it around. There we go. Okay, girl, there's your slice right there.
It's a nice spice. Oh, that should be the thumbnail.
Okay, we'll make that the thumbnail. Can you do that again? Hey, there we go. Thumbnail. Okay. All right, girl, here you go.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what we're working with here. We got the nice brown crust. We got that good old stringy cheese. Look at that cheese. Look at that. I'm just going to wrap that
smell
around the
good.
end. Okay, here we go. Y'all hear that crunch?
Mmm.
Oh, my God.
Mmm. This is good. I'm not even joking. Guys.
Get on camera, girl.
This is the truth. Mm. This is so good.
Listen, this pizza's delicious. Wasn't hard to make. Flavors are all blending. The good vegetables, they're still a little crunchy. The sauce is just enough on top.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't flatten that crust. So you get a nice, listen to that crust. You get a nice crispy crunch. The olive oil and the butter and the garlic. This is an amazing pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to come home from work, throw this together, you could have already chopped up your vegetables or had your sausage or ground beef or whatever you want on top already prepared. And then you just put it together. Oh, another thing, you can freeze this dough. You can make it in double batches and then wrap it. Don't let it rise. As soon as you make it the first time, instead of rising it, put it in your Ziploc bag, put it in the freezer. Then when you take it out, let it rise and then put it in the pan. So I'm going to finish this delicious pizza.
Probably the best homemade pizza I've ever had.
She said this is the best homemade pizza she's ever had. And I agree. So I'm going to slice Papa a slice. We're going to get the kitchen cleaned up. And we'll see you guys again next week on Chatting in the Kitchen with Momma Dora and Chelsea. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. Thank you for watching.
See you. Bye now.